Bro, wanna learn how to hitbox drag in Forsaken but you keep getting M1'd in the face? As you can see, I have almost 18 days of playtime on this game and I am pretty good at guess 1337. So let's get started, shall we? First, let's understand the basics. Hitbox drag isn't just about randomly pressing block. You want to wait for the killer's attack hitbox to come into your block range and then react to it. What makes this a whole lot easier, at least for me, is watching closely the killer's M1 animation. Each killer has a specific animation that plays once they use their M1. There is going to be a part later in the video where I will show each killer's M1 animation. To start, stay relatively close to the killer. When they start their M1, watch for the red hitbox. As it gets close to you, move backwards while using block at the same time, just like I did here. The backwards movement is important because you're creating distance while allowing the killer's hitbox to enter your block range. And one thing that you should never, and I mean never do, is standing completely still. The whole point is to create distance while letting the attack reach your block range. Now let's look at the first killer M1 stats. The killer in question being Cool Kid. As we can see, Cool Kid's M1 is extremely fast. This is the most difficult killer to hitbox drag after all. For Cool Kid, look at his left arm closely. Once the Cool Kid decides to M1, his left arm will jerk forward. That's when you know you have to block. Be careful though, Cool Kid's M1 is particularly short, meaning you'll have to stay closer. His linger is also short, and a good player will try to bait you, so keep an eye out for that. Now let's move on to Slasher. His wind-up is also particularly fast. Slasher is easier to hitbox drag in comparison to Cool Kid. For Slasher, you want to look at his right arm, where his machete is being held. If you see it abruptly moving up swiftly, that's when you block. A good Slasher could bait you by using behead, so don't focus on his machete too much. Now it's time for John Doe. Here we can see that his M1 is very slow, making it the slowest M1 in the game, which makes John Doe's M1 the easiest to react and hitbox drag too. For him, look at his left arm, the one with the claws. You'll see that it will raise up in the air slowly. That's when you block. The only way a John Doe can bait you is by M1ing and turning away last second. You should be good. Let's take a look at Noli now. His M1 is slightly faster than John Doe, but it's still reactable. For him, look at the Void Star in his right arm. When he uses an M1, it will disappear. That's when you block. Be careful with Noli though. A good Noli could bait you with Void Rush that makes the Void Star vanish. Or he could use Nova. So listen closely at the sound cue of the M1 to avoid getting baited and embarrassed. Now it's time for 1x1x1x1. His windup is identical to John Doe's, so you should have no trouble in reacting to it. For him, look at his left arm where he's wielding one of his venom shanks. It will make a very slow and obvious cutting motion. That's when you block. There's no way you can get baited unless he turns away mid M1. You should be fine. Now then, time for guess 666. Her M1 is not too slow, but not too fast, pretty reactable to be honest, but she also has a second M1, which is Eviscerate. I don't have a clip of Eviscerate, but when she used Eviscerate, she will suddenly lunge at you swiftly and bite down. You'll see her head tilt down, making a biting motion. Don't confuse it for Demonic Pursuit. For her, look closely at her right arm. You'll see that it will jerk forward. That's when you block. You can't get baited by her unless she uses Infernal Cry or turns away the last second of the M1. Now let's take a look at Nosferatu's M1. His M1 windup is the same of guess 666's. This M1 is reactable too. Now look at his right arm. It will jerk behind his back and then forward. But be extra careful with Nosferatu since he can bait you by using Bloodhook that makes nearly the same animation as his M1. So listen carefully at the sound cue of the M1. Last but not least, we have Azure, the newest killer. His M1 is slightly slower than Slasher's, but his hitbox length is crazy long. Look closely at both his pairs of tentacles. The left pair will retreat and the right pair will lunge forward. That's when you block. You don't have to focus on both. I suggest you to focus on his right tentacles, but don't be too focused on them, since he can bait you by using Seeker Bulb. Now time for some tips. First tip, turn on hitboxes. If you're learning this technique, seeing the hitboxes makes it much easier to understand the timing. Second tip, pay attention to your ping. Your connection can affect how the timing feels, so don't assume every failed attempt is because your reaction time is bad. Make sure to install a Roblox extension that can detect the nearest servers so you have good ping. An example is Rusil. And most importantly, don't spam block. If you want to become consistent, you need to learn how to react, not just hope your block works. One final thing, there is also a Roblox game named Forsaken Guest Fighting. I will link it in the description. You can practice your hitbox drags in this game against a bot that plays like a real player, meaning it will bait you and punish you for each failed block. Just do what I do. Also, you have to be in your own private server to do this. It's free though. Putting on guest rework is crucial because if you don't, you will be using the guest version that could block basically each attack, and Forsaken you can't do that anymore. Make sure to spawn the Delirious bot since it's the only one that can attack and bait you. That is going to be all for today. I hope you liked and learned from this guide, and I also hope that you'll excel in hitbox dragging after watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!